Hi and welcome to Coach OBI'S personal workout tips. When we are talking about fitness, specifically dieting for Africans, usually there's a misconception about what a diet should contain. And this is because most of the things we hear about diet as Africans are mostly European based or Eurocentric. There is hardly the context or the African context taken into account when we are talking about fitness. So when we are talking about dieting, what a diet should contain, how an African should eat in order to stay healthy. So at times we find ourselves following European standards of dieting. However, this video will be talking about that. But before we talk about it, I want you to listen to this video. Now, it's a very long video. She went for about 10 minutes, but I'm just going to play the first 5 minutes for you to listen and listen attentively to what she had to say, and then we shall be right back. Stay tuned.
Whitey. Oh, if you're black, nothing for you. But if you're white, there's something.
Oh, like I'm sure you guys have met Dr. Carol by now. I want everybody to rush to her page and get some information, especially this our Cameroon dietitians and nutritionists, because it's so biased how the propaganda you guys are helping to. You guys are the key soldiers in the demonizing of African food, in the criticizing, like in the health and fitness industry. African food is the most criticized. Like, oh, it's unhealthy. Oh, it's a this, it's a that, and it's a that. And as time is coming by, if you don't try to get your own awareness, you will be stuck in this colonial loop, I'll call it. And I don't blame these colonial people. They make diet plans based on the food they know. They do their research based on the things they have. You will not expect them to come and research plantain for you, or to come and research red oil for you, or to come and research, beans. They make their plans based on the food they eat. So coming to my Cameroon fitness coach sisters, you guys will go online and then you just get healthy foods, and then you don't even stop for a minute to think these healthy foods are they our healthy foods, or is it from another culture that I'm struggling to? Because truly speaking, we are not even genetically engineered the same. It's true your diet plans work, but what do they do in the long run? I've seen diet plans that tell people to reduce salt. This girl said, cut out as much salt as you can, to a perfectly healthy 20-something with booming metabolism that, it's not hypertensive. So you're telling that person to cut out salt. For what reasons? And then we Africans, we don't supplement, we don't take vitamins, we don't supplement. God they drive fly for cow with tail, for cow we no get tail. Truly speaking, we are just naturally built different, because if you want to look at the biology of it, we don't eat well, we should really be malnourished, and the supplementing culture doesn't exist in Cameroon. People take supplements, but it's not that popular. So you give somebody a calorie depleting diet that is not even balanced, and the person is not supplementing, no iron, nothing. But you don't check if your diet has the ions, the potassiums, the vitamins. You don't check that. You guys just say, okay, throw in a bit of carrot, lettuce, chicken breast. It sounds pretty balanced, but that's one diet. And then the next meal will just be something off the charts. You just half salad. So where is the macronutrients? I see less and less protein. The worst is meat. The demonizing of meat and eggs is just crazy. Have 2 eggs a week. What? 2 eggs a week? Why? What does egg do that is bad? Why do you guys not ask these questions? If someone tells me, and then you'll be like, eat chicken breast, what happened to the rest of the chicken? What happened to the entire chicken? So if she eats chicken breast and she eats chicken drumstick, she's gonna get weight eating chicken drumstick and not get weight eating. It's the same thing. And the skin of the chicken is fatty. Okay, coming to that, what translate? Jesus Christ, there's so much information that I have in my head. Like, there's so many things. Honestly speaking, now I don't want to sound like I'm ranting, although I am, because it's really annoying what you guys do and you collect money for like, just do research. You know, the smartest way to do research is to follow the macronutrients. Like, be like, okay, what does protein do? Protein builds blood, in the immune system, blood cells, enforces that, enforces this. Then you ask the next question: Can protein be? Because protein is the only macronutrient that is not converted. Like, we take it as. In fact, I don't know how to. I cannot say it off by heart, but protein never in your life protein will convert to fat. Protein will never be stored as fat. No source of protein living on this planet can make you gain weight. It will make you gain. You have muscle, yes, not fats. So when you start doing eat only lean meat, eat only white meat, eat salmon, what happened to mackerel?
You heard her. She called so many people out, especially us fitness content creators or fitness coaches or dietitians, nutritionists who are Africans. And like she rightly said in the video, most of the times when we are building or trying to create a meal plan for people, we usually want to include foreign things which we don't find them around our African farms or in our African cuisines or the kitchens. So I think it's important that when we are building our meals as Africans, like she rightly said, we should take into consideration the macronutrients. And what are the macronutrients? You should try to find out within your African meals or diet what are carbohydrates, what are proteins, what are vitamins, what are minerals, what are fats and oils. For example, it's basic. If you're talking about cassava, which is highly starched, that's a carbohydrate and a high carb. All right. When we are talking about things like proteins, of course, we can easily get that from eggs as Africans as well. When we are talking about vitamins, we get them from our local vegetables. I don't think it would be proper for you as an African to be including something like broccoli, which is kind of European, and we don't need broccoli. Also, something like spinach. We don't need spinach as Africans because it's not consistent. Don't get me wrong. You can have it as an African, but for an African who doesn't really have enough money to be able to build a diet, a very rich diet, right? You can go with the means you have. You don't need so much money to build a diet. Go with the basic things around you. For example, if you just turn into your farm or behind your house, you're going to find bitter leaf. You are going to find bitter leaf. To get proteins, you can go into the bush farm and you get, they look like caterpillars. They are like fake or something. I don't know the name, but you can see it here. Those are proteins. You have crickets that we do eat as Africans. I remember as an African, we used to eat crickets. There is also what we call grasshoppers. That is how we can get our proteins. So, I think as Africans, when we are building our diet, we should try to create around our own resources. I remember I made a video on YouTube and I said African keto diet. And it would be nice for those who are onto this kind of content to build, more around that. All right. A lot of misconceptions about the kind of things we eat. Like, I'm a Cameroonian. There's a meal called ndole, which is made up from bitter leaf. It's made up from bitter leaf, granules or peanuts, egusi, and oils. At first, there was a misconception that meal. When I used to grow up, I thought that meal will make you gain weight. But of course, no. That's a very healthy diet to eat. You also have the misconception about palm oil as Africans. But we fail to understand that palm oil has palmitic acid, which is a good amino acid. And it's a good protein. It's a good source of protein, palm oil. But you should not roast or bleach the palm oil. So, long and short of it all, it's important as Africans, when we are building our meal plans, our diet, we should build it around our own context, all right? Or around our resources, what we can afford, what is consistent. I don't think it would be proper for I, as a fitness content, as a fitness trainer, or as a content creator to want to propose a meal plan to you, and I include things like spinach, broccoli, you know, meats, some foreign meat, which has nothing to do with Africans, because I believe that most of us Africans, according to Maslow's theory of needs, most of us are still struggling to just feed. You know, we have a lot of food, but most of us are not yet at a certain level where we can be going for some very expensive meals. All right, you can go to the farm. You have something like njanga or prawns. Those things are very available. You also have what we call snails. That's a protein source, a source of protein. So I really do appreciate the video, what the lady said, and I think, again, as Africans, our fitness should be oriented. We should try to look at the African base. The way we eat should be African, because we have a lot of good foods. Remember, as Africans, most of our foods are already supplemented. We do not need supplements. We need to eat. We have a lot of food, a variety of food as Africans. Africans have one of the best cuisines. I'm African, I'm very proud to be African. And I believe we all should be proud about our cultures, our different cultures. And we should go for our cultures. So, tell us where you're coming from, what African country you're coming from, and a meal you think is very healthy and that can help people stay healthy when they eat as well. I hope you learned a thing or two from the video. Until then, stay strong.